All right, here I am, Tonya Rutter with Tonya Rutter Coaching, Nick's House of Light. And I've got Sarah Tricker and Tessa Gray here who have went through the Create a New Money Story Bootcamp. So we have been through this for, they were kind of my beta group. We've done this for 12 weeks. So I'm just gonna ask you some questions and see what you think. So first of all, what was your money story like before bootcamp? Sarah, what was your money story like before bootcamp?
So when I started the bootcamp, when I met Tonya, I had ebbs and flows. So I could start something new, manifest abundance, and then there's always that niggling kind of like thing in the background. Is like, when's it going? When's it going? There it is, it's gone. And then comes the ebb and the ebb, and then there'll be a flow, and there'll be the ebb. And not being able to consistently manifest abundance. That was that was the underlying story. That's what brought me here. Basically, it was like, I'm tired of the ebbs and flows. I want to get this sorted out so I can create some abundance in my life.
How about you, Tessa?
I think I'm the same. I've always had feast and famine. So it's really about creating more flow, and I think also about creating the clarity of doing something that I'm really meant to do rather than something I'm good at, which I don't really enjoy. So I think that's been huge, is actually to find out what is really the best thing to do, because I'm one of these people that I could do loads of different things, and people have always said, well, I think you should do this, and why don't you do that? And I'm thinking, I don't really want to do that, but I didn't know why. And I think it's connecting your heart to you basically what you love to do with money. And in the olden days, what I used to find was that I used to struggle to get paid for something that I found something so much fun to do, because it was so much fun. I didn't care if I got paid or not, but you can't live on air.
Okay, how is this bootcamp different from other programs that you've tried? Sarah?
So I think most people who are watching this can relate to the books that I've read. I've got a plethora of them on my bookshelf there. And, I think of like the manifestors who create these programs, and it's like, oh, if you can manifest $1, you can manifest $1 million. And if you're not doing it, it's because you're doing it wrong. And I think it gets very frustrating when you're not a manifestor and you don't work on that realm. So that's how this bootcamp is different. I think it caters for people who are not manifestors in that realm of like, or proctor, that sort of, the secret kind of way of doing things. So yeah, that's been the hugest difference, I think, for me. It's not, I haven't felt like, oh, I'm a bad person because I'm not doing it right. I've been able to untangle the reasons why money and abundance hasn't been flowing to me.
All right, how about you, Tessa?
Because this is not about, in a way, I don't think it's about money in a material way. I think it's much more about connecting, it's connecting your heart to it. And I've done lots of things where they say, it's about retraining your thoughts and your beliefs and everything. But I think, and sometimes we have these unconscious belief systems which prevent us from getting there. And so I've done some work around that too. But I think with this, I think it just takes you into a much more higher dimension really work. It's much higher energy work than anything else I've done. And in fact, I did do one program which was really high energy, but that was a 12-month program. But it was only one call a month, and we had to work on our stuff for the whole month. So yeah, I think it's just, and it's also been much more in depth. It's gone much deeper. I think a lot of them are programs are quite superficial, but this actually allows you to go really deep and get down to the root of what your beliefs are and what your expectations are and how you can actually go there and get there quite easily.
All right, thank you. What are some of the largest impacts Bootcamp has had for you, Sarah?
I think for me, when we worked on the frequencies and the understanding of these frequencies that I didn't even know I had. And I think that was the key part for me in moving those stories. And as Tessa just said, you know, I'm a spiritual worker, so to work on a spiritual level and not like a mind level, to go down to those places where it's ingrained, not just in my DNA, but like my soul, and clear the work errors. That's been, I think, the biggest. So I believe that's what's shifted my mindset around money. You know, it's not just the mind, it's like mind, body, soul. It's the aligning of everything. And the frequencies, I think the frequencies for me really, I gained that knowledge and was able to align mind, body, soul from it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. How about you, Tessa?
I think one of the biggest things for me is that I had an expectation of receiving some money in a way that was, I was told it was pretty much a done deal, and it didn't happen. And actually, I have complete peace about it, and there was no panic. And I think that there's just a sort of knowing that there was something that needed to be learned or changed or whatever. So I think I just have so much more peace about it. And I also have, I think the healing in the DNA is fascinating. And I think that makes huge sense, especially when it's generational.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
doing timelines. I've done a bit of timeline work before, but this seems to be much, just felt to be much easier. So I'm kind of interested to see what happens in the next 6 months.
Awesome. I think that's something that, you know, some other money programs don't necessarily have, is the timeline work and the DNA work in that. So, all right. Has the boot camp changed how you work with clients, Sarah?
I think it has, because I've started working with people's frequencies a lot more. You know, like I just took on a new coaching client, and I had met her through personal development course, and she stuck with the personal development course and continued that route when I started my business. So she's got to as far as she can with that particular program, and so she's come into coaching with me. And I said to her, you know, coaching is a weird thing because it's just innocent questions that take you to places you're not expecting. And so that was kind of like the second session. So she went to place, she's like, holy. And then we started talking about frequencies. And then, so I think that knowledge is helping me to help my clients see the frequencies that they're running on, so that I can help them clear them as well.
Awesome. How about you, Tessa?
Well, I just finished a program which is actually all about frequencies too. But what I think has happened is that the last few clients that I've worked with, 2 or 3, is their results have been exponentially fast. So I think it's probably the combination of it. It's just like, oh my God. And I think my intuition, and I think what people have said is you always know what you always know the right question to ask. So I think what's happened is I'm so much more in tune with not only my intuition, but by reading my client's energy and theirs. So the question is just quite obvious to me. It just sort of comes out, sort of thing, you know. And so I think, yeah, I think the client's been kind of blown away with, and some of the ideas that I've come up with, they just absolutely love. And I've got one client, she's actually signed up for another 3 months because it's been so much fun.
Awesome, awesome. So one of the things that we did was activate your light body. So how did that help you as far as doing energy work, working in your business, working with clients, and that kind of stuff? How did activating your energy body help you? So Sarah.
So I use, obviously, with the work, well, it's not obvious to the people listening, but I use I use that anyway. But what I found after we had done the work with you was that I can send my light body off just before I go to sleep. So and like, this is key to me now, because before it was like, how am I going to find clients? Where am I going to find them from? Well, I don't have to worry about that shit now. Basically, what I do is just before I go to bed is I ask my light body to go and find people who are searching for me, and I go to sleep. So it's really helped as another tool to take away that worry about money and clients and the old story, because I know that my light body is doing the work that it needs to do without me controlling it. It's pretty awesome.
That's awesome. How about you?
Well, I think I missed a trick there because I haven't used it. But after what Sarah said, I think, oh wow, that's an amazing idea. I think I must have, yeah, I need to go back and look at that module because I've missed that one.
Well, one thing that I have noticed with you since we've done that is I can feel you doing energy work now. You know, especially on yourself when you're doing stuff, I can actually feel it now. So I think that's one difference there.
What, on me?
And yeah, no, I mean, when you're doing energy work on yourself,
Yeah.
yeah, I can feel it now.
Okay.
Before I couldn't, but now I can. And another difference I think too is when you used to do energy work with people, did you feel drained afterwards? And do you still feel drained now?
No. I used to feel drained and now I don't.
Yeah. So what's happening is you're actually doing the energy work through your light body instead of through yourself.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've noticed that a lot of energy workers tend to do their energy work through themselves instead of their light body, and so it drains them. Yeah, once you activate the light body, then you're actually doing the energy work through your light body instead of yourself. So how do you feel about your money story now since you've done boot camp, Sarah?
I think it's much more positive. I was going to say positive further, and anyway, much more positive. I don't dwell on the ebbs. So obviously ebbs and flows come. And when the ebbs are here, there isn't that worry anymore. So the new story that I have created is allowing for me to fully accept abundance. When I think about like neglect and unworthiness and all of these things that I've worked through, is like, I am entitled and it is my birthright to have abundance. And that new story is allowing that to come into my life. You know, just even those, I give a couple of examples. So me and my husband went away for a weekend, and we got to the hotel and we were upgraded to the executive suite, which was a $750 a night room from like a $300. And I went to a tattoo convention to see my tattoo artist when she was down here, and I got into the tattoo convention for free. So it's just things like that are happening a lot now. And abundance doesn't necessarily have to be just, you know, hard cash, because all of these things that are coming are money, just in different ways. So yeah, I'm excited moving forward.
That's awesome. How about you, Tessa?
I think I have a sense of peace around it, which is interesting. And there's an excitement. I think there's a real excitement about, I think the best thing for me was actually knowing what the first step is, what the next step is, of the first step of getting there and having a plan to do it. So I'm excited about executing that, and yeah, seeing how it all pans out, really.
Yeah, being able to actually reverse engineer your vision and see, oh, this is my first step, this is my second step, this is my third step. Yeah, it does make much more clear.
It makes it clearer, and it's something that I've been able to do for my clients, but I've never done it. I never managed to do it for myself, but having somebody lead me through it was so much easier than actually trying to do it for myself. Because when I did it for myself, I'd go off in 4 or 5 different directions.
Yeah. So what would you say to someone who's thinking about doing boot camp, Sarah?
I think if you've tried all of these other ways and nothing is successful, if you feel like it's something you're doing and you're kind of blaming yourself, like I'm this or I'm that I would suggest to do this, because it goes deeper. If you're really ready to do the deep work, not just the surface, it's all about, you know, just actual money, but you want to clear the past, you want to clear now, and you want to have the future for clear, I would recommend taking this course with Tonya. But it's deep work, so like be prepared. I think that also, you know, like if you're going to do it, like be committed to do it, you know, show up to the sessions, do the work, and if you do the work, the process works.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Tessa?
I think it's the same thing. It's a question, if you're committed, depends how committed you are. If you want something that works and you're ready to go deeper, I think it's great, because it's actually, you learn so much about yourself. And I think a lot of this is about actually owning who you are, your purpose and your reason for being on this earth. And if you want to be stuck in poverty, then don't do this. But if you want to be stuck, if you want to have a prosperous, fun time, then do it.
Thank you both so much. I've enjoyed having you both doing this, you know, helping me just creating this boot camp. It's been an amazing journey. So thank you both so much.